bum 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 ba-dum bum 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 ba-da-da-dum bum bum ba-dum ba-ba-dum bum 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 ba-dum bum 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 da-da-da-dun-dun-dun-da-da-da-dun-dun. Hello, my friends. Good evening. So happy to have you join us from Toronto. Charmaine, hi. Nice to see you all from Grafton. Lots of Ontarians. So nice to see my Canadian friends. It's so good. Hello, Deborah from Topeka. Happy Eclipse Day. Yeah, my family was all in Buffalo, and they said it was quite exciting to see what happened. It was a complete blackout for minutes. They said it was like nighttime. It was, I wish I had been there. Would have been really, they said Buffalo is a hummin'. It's pretty exciting for everyone. Good evening, my friends. Hello, my name is Joette Calabrese. For those who don't know me, we are here every Monday night at 8 o'clock Eastern Time doing one thing and one thing only, and that is we talk about homeopathy. I teach you what I know, and I hope that you'll share, and I hope that this community builds, and I hope that you will like and share and subscribe. And for those of you who do already know me, it's wonderful to see you all, my friends. Hi from Los Angeles, Lynn. Hi, Ellen. Yes, for happy Feast of the Annunciation. You're absolutely right, Ellen. So wonderful to see everyone. Apsley, Ontario. Hi, Fiona. You know, this is one of my favorite parts, is getting to see everyone and where you're all coming from Virginia, and Yorktown, Virginia is Nancy, and then RN Walsh, and love these live Monday nights, Joette. Other than learning, you are delightful. Thank you. Very, very nice to say that. Thank you very much. Kind words. So nice to see you all. So we have a special guest tonight. She came to me because she's very, very worried. And I'll introduce you to her, but the problem is she's a little shy. So she'll just kind of show her face just for a minute. See, she's really nervous. She's really nervous. And I feel like she's, as you can see, she's, oh, come on now. Her name is Fluenza. And she's wearing a mask because she's very worried that what's going on, and she's concerned. And I've tried to convince her to take the mask off. Come on, Fluenza, you can do it, sweetie. You can do it. Well, she's nervous. You can see she's shaking. She's a very, very concerned little hen. And so you know, I tried to explain it to her, but that's what we're going to talk about tonight. I want to calm her fears and everyone else's. And so this is another, let me get my notes out here. This is another message from the CDC, because I don't know what would we do without the CDC and our media, because the Daily Star said on the 8th, which was, let's see, I guess that was just today, wasn't it? I guess it was this morning. World dangerously close to the next, you know what, emic, with deadly, you know, V, 100 times worse than the Daily Star says, April 8th. But we are very interested in knowing, what does it do? What can happen here? I want to know. And our friend here is very concerned. As I said, her name is Fluenza, and she's a little concerned about it too. And so we're going to talk exactly about this. This is the avian, and as per the CDC, it can be passed on to humans. And of course, it's deadly. Do we understand that? Deadly. Really dead. 100 times worse dead than the last one. And so I want to know what we need to do so that we don't die. All right? Okay. So I'm being facetious, obviously. And for those of you who think I'm taking this too lightly, you just don't know me well enough, nor do you know homeopathy well enough. Because I will give you the list of conditions, the symptoms that are associated with this deadly condition. And so the first condition is a cough. And then the next one is a headache. I don't know if they're in this order. But then there's also shortness of breath or difficulty breathing. As you can imagine, it's going to go into the lungs because that's where from where you die. There's sore throat, there's fever and chills, and there's fatigue and congestion or runny nose and muscle or body aches. That sounds so different than any other flu or cold I've ever heard of. Isn't that rare? Doesn't it seem really different to you? I mean, because I don't know, in my 72 years, I don't remember ever having any of these cough, headache, shortness of breath, sore throat, fever, chills, fatigue, congestion, runny nose, muscle or body aches. To me, that sounds really, really rare and really, really dangerous because animals are our enemies. And so we have to be very careful. So I think she's taken off her mask now. So she's got the mask on. We got to get this mask off of her. And she's a little concerned about being in front of everyone. So she's really nervous. And so I'm going to bring her back here again because she's worried because, as you can imagine, her entire flock was destroyed. Oh yeah, that's what they do. They destroy the flock. And so she's very concerned about that. And so and so are all of us because many people eat chicken. I know, don't say that in front of her. But chickens are important in our lives, and certainly eggs are very important. So anytime we see a condition that is intended to frighten the bejeebers out of us, such as that because it's got a cough, headache, shortness of breath, a difficulty breathing, sore throat, fever, chills, fatigue, congestion, runny nose, muscle, or body aches, we need to look at what the medicines are. What homeopathic medicines can we give her? What medicines can we take that could protect us or our families, right? So I have to tell you, that's not that complicated. Whether it's called this kind of condition, or it's got a different name, or it's got another name, or if it's a name from years ago, or if it's a word that we've never heard before, or it's a new scarier name, or it's a name that is associated with the Greek alphabet, that we're still going to look at what? The symptoms, right? And the sooner we approach the symptoms, the sooner we get to the condition with our homeopathic medicines, the easier it's going to be, the less concerned we will be. We will become more calm. And that's what I want Fluenza to be. I want her to be not so nervous. And so I think that if we could just give her a remedy, I think it would calm everything down. And that's the beauty of homeopathy. We don't just calm down the condition, but also everything associated with it. The angst, the freaking out. Yes, Nicole, my dear, we become empowered. So I'm going to try to convince her to take a remedy. And so this is how we're going to do it. We're going to just put the remedy right in her mouth. I couldn't believe how this fits so perfectly. So she's got the remedy in her mouth, and I want you to guess, my friends, what remedy would be the first remedy I would give Fluenza. What would we give her? What do you suppose this this remedy is in her mouth. I want to get your feedback on this. So I said it so that you can't really, I don't think you can read it. I don't want you to be able to read it. Okay, aconitum, says Terry. My goodness, yes, aconitum, says Shay. Yes, Deb's got, yes, absolutely. You're getting it, aconitum. And we like a particular potency of aconitum, right? Oh, gelsemium's good too. Gelsemium's good too. But let me tell you, the Banerjee protocol for any time someone gets anything here or here, especially at the onset, at the very beginning, is going to be aconitum 200. You got it. You got it, Diane and Christina and Barbara. My friends, you've got it. Absolutely. You're going to use a 200C. Now, if all you have is a 200X, that works too. But I also like to combine aconitum with another medicine and to put them, she doesn't have a large enough mouth to put both in simultaneously, but if I could just get it in. Okay, it's in there. Okay, so there's a second, Bryonia 30. If we could mix the Bryonia 30 and the aconitum 200 together at the same time, either because you own the medicine as a combination that you can get from OHM and some other, well, OHM is pretty much the pharmacy that we use for that, then that would be ideal. But if you don't, then you can use one and the one that was previous and put them in her mouth, let her put them in her little beak, you hold her little beak down, and you wait until she's got it in her mouth, and then you wait and put the other medicine right in there. Okay? Yeah, this poor thing. I know, she's freaked out. And let me also tell you, the beauty of the, aconitum, the beauty of the aconitum is that it will calm down the anxiety as well as the aspect of this illness, the aspect of this condition. So we're killing two birds, yes, my friends, with one stone. That's how it works. We are getting the fear down. We are also getting the aspect of it moving on too quickly, or even if it wasn't quick, keep these medicines, aconitum 200 and Bryonia 30, this Banerjee protocol, keep it in your purse, because your purse is excellent, says Megan, because you always have your purse with you, right? Okay, now let's say you don't happen to have that and this happens tomorrow, right? Yeah, tell newcomers, says Deb, not to eat the tube. Well, I know animals have a tendency to do things like that. Okay, they're a little cavalier. Okay, the next one I want you to think about is also, because how do we know, is it a cold? Is it a flu? What is this? Fluenza has no idea. She does not know what she's feeling, but she does know that Cold Calm is a very good idea. Cold Calm by Boron. And you can buy this, of course, on Amazon, or you can go to Boron, even better. Go to Boron, Boiron. And then, my friends, when you check out, incorporate my name, put my name in the little checkout box, and you will get a discount. Just my first name, Joette. And again, I do not have an affiliate program with Boron. I don't get any kickbacks. I want that to be your discount, not payment to me. So Cold Calm. And then you just follow the directions. She knows how to read. So she's reading the directions and she knows what to do. And there are a number of remedies that are listed right here. And a couple of remedies that are listed here. And then she takes them and she only needs to take it every 15 minutes for the first hour or so. Now, somebody else is really very smart and they know that I was also thinking of Oscillococcinum. Yep, she knows exactly what to do. And you will also see the directions on the back of the Oscillo package. She as I said, she can read packages very well. They're just about her size. That's just right. And Coryzalia, yes. Yes, tell newcomers. And let me just see what you've got, if you've got any questions. Would you consider giving the hen a water version of the remedies? Yes, we could do that. We certainly could do that. No doubt, my friends. You could put it in water. So you could, here's my glass of water, And in this water, we could add some of the pills, a dose, maybe 4 to 5 pills inside the water. And then she could drink it from the water, right? And then, or you could pour it into her mouth and just give her a sip or so, right? That's how this works. How often might we use the aconitum bryonia? I didn't talk about that, and I think that's important that you know that is something that we want to know how to use. And if the condition is absolutely over the top horrible, then we're going to repeat it every hour or so. If it's not, then we can go every 3 or 4 hours. Okay, while we are talking about the flu, can you use Oscilla for body aches with stomach bugs too? The stomach bug is a little different because, but it will touch body aches. Yes, it will, and you may find that Oscilla will help with that as well. But generally, when we think of a stomach flu, we're talking about more nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, cramps, also fatigue, and body aches. But we want to try to get a homeopathic medicine that's going to cover a number of conditions, not just one. Okay? Yes, thank you very much. Arsenicum album for stomach flu. You guys are amazing. You are amazing. You are my beloved students. That's all I can say. I've given my grown girls this in combo as well as singly, and they said it doesn't work as well as in the combo. Curious. Yeah, I think that's interesting. Could it be that it is the combination, or could it be just at that moment? When people tell me these kinds of things, I generally believe what they say. I take it at face value. My chickens aren't so smart as this chicken. I do, however, have 26 little avian flu carriers in my incubator right now, if I'm to believe the CDC anyway. Yes. Yeah, Dolly, says CB. Shh, they might come after you. Yes, be careful. The discount, here it is. Irene is saying it's Joette 20 CA for. Thank you, Irene. In Canada, when you check out with boron, you put in Joette, Joette 20, and then CA for Canada, capital CA. Joette 20 CA, and you'll get your discount in Canada. Thank you for reminding me about that. That's very important information because my Canadian friends, things are so much more expensive there. The Canadian dollar to the American dollar is really a travesty right now. All right. Now, what else do we have? Oh, often, first sign of symptoms. The first sign of symptoms, yes, the very first sign. So as soon as she starts going down and she's feeling sick, that not even all the way down. When we see the person just starting and they're saying to themselves, you know what, I'm not feeling so well. That's instantly, in it goes. Get that remedy in the mouth immediately. Because the sooner the better, obviously, on all levels. And that's true for even conventional drugs. If we can jump on something right away, it does make a big difference. Okay, Heinrich's Homeopathy. Hi, Lisa. Rus or Eupatorium for body aches? Yes. And my favorite, I love Rus Tox. It's one of my all-time favorites for myself. I use it for myself if I have joint pains, if I've overdone it, if I've overworked. If I've eaten very poorly, I might get some joint pain, and I use Rus Tox. But Eupatorium, my friends, is particularly useful for when someone gets a cold or a flu, and the pain is really severe. Some people say that it's like it feels as though their bones are breaking, and the medicine for that is Eupatorium, Eupatorium. Eupatorium. And we can use it in a 30. Just plain old 30. You can use it in a 200 if you choose, but 30 works nicely. Cold Calm. Can Cold Calm be used in the same schedule as oscillococcinum? You can do that, my friends. You can use a couple different medicines in the same schedule. But I encourage you to try to hold back from doing that, if at all possible. Because you want to know which one is acting. Not only for yourself, if you're taking it yourself, but then you'll know which one is acting for the other members of your family. So you don't want to throw everything at someone unless you have no choice. But if it's at the onset of an illness, then by all means, oh, look, she's gagging. This is really, if she's gagging during this, if she's gagging, we're going to take this out of her mouth. And just as an aside, what are we going to give Fluenza? What can we give her? Oh, yeah, this is really tough on her. Oh my God, she's spitting up. It's the label from the remedy. What can we give her? Remember now, this is important. We want to give her something if she's gagging and coughing. Ipecac, says Vicky. Yes, Carrie, yes, Ipecac. yes, quickly, let's get, oh my gosh, that's disgusting. Let's just get this. Let's give her Ipecac now. Okay. If you get that Ipecac in there, it will stop the gagging, and it'll slow down, and then she'll say, oh, and she feels better. And she says, thank you to Shay, thank you to Cassandra, thank you to Kathy, to Marie, and R.N. Walsh, and Rebecca. Thank you for thinking of Ipecac for me. So, we've covered a lot of ground here already. I know this has been really silly and kind of and really fun, but this is the same whether this is coming, this disease, whatever it is, comes from this kind of creature, comes from another creature like us, comes from a frog, comes from a snake, comes from a bat, comes from a wet market, comes from just about anywhere. We're going to start with what is presenting. So in spite of the name is intended, in my estimation, to make her very, very anxious. And we are not anxious because we know homeopathy. Yeah, look at Donna, says gagging but can't get it up. Antimonium tart. You've so got it. Let's see more of your questions, my friends. I buy my eggs from just might need a homeopathic gift box. You bet. How would mom use the medicines prophylactically while she treats her sick household? Could you use these prophylactically? Let me ask you if you do that, my friends. Do you use these medicines prophylactically? Some people do, some people don't. And I'll give you my take on it. I'd like to hear what you've got to say, and I'll just take a sip of water. Okay, people are starting to hop in and tell me. Some people say, no, they would not. They would not use it prophylactically. Occasionally, says Megan. I agree, Megan. And somebody else is saying nope. This is what I would do. If the illness is really gobsmacking, or if the person in your family who has gotten sick is around a person in the family who's, when they get sick, they get very, very sick, or they're extremely susceptible, then I might consider giving it prophylactically. Now, a lot of people do, and I've actually done it myself. I've actually given my family in the past Oscillo as a prophylactic. But we have to be careful with that, because when we use homeopathic medicines prophylactically, what comes of it is that we start thinking prophylactically about all conditions. What if this happens? What if that happens? What if I go to India? What if I go to China? What if I go to Mexico? Should I take something in advance? And I have to say, I think that that's overkill. And I've often said that the years that I went to India, I went to Calcutta to study and work with the Banerjees, I never took anything prophylactically. Because I would have been taking something every 5 minutes if I had taken something prophylactically, because I was exposed to so many infectious and contagious illnesses while I was there, that it would have been overwhelming for me to take anything prophylactically, so I just chose not to. And instead, as something came up, that's when I would treat it. That was my take on it. Now, something that is important, I believe, is if someone is injured and they have a wound and they step on a rusty nail. Okay, there's nothing going on quite yet, and we're going to assume nothing is going to happen because we're going to use a homeopathic medicine such as Ledum 200 or Hypericum and Arsenicum, etc. We're going to take those medicines in advance of something infectious occurring, but more importantly, for something like that, we're going to deal with wound management, aren't we? We are going to clean the wound scrupulously so that nothing occurs. And yes, we could use something prophylactically. But when it comes to these kinds of illnesses, I think that it might be better just to have it on hand and give it a wait in general. Could it depend on your constitution? In a way, that's what I'm saying, isn't it? That is what I'm saying, that if it's someone who can, so they get sick. You know what? Getting sick, such as the blowing the nose and sneezing and cough and even fever, is a cleanse, my friends. I want you to think of it that way. It is an opportunity to get whatever needs to be removed from the body out. It's an opportunity. Now, it's not so much an opportunity if it's someone who's getting sick all the time. Now we have to go over that. And that's what I teach in my course on antibiotics. And if you're interested in that, you go to joetteslearningcenter.com. Joette's without the apostrophe, learningcenter.com. Scroll down and look at the courses that I teach that you own. You will own. It's no longer live. You actually own them. You get them online and you study them, and then you own them for as long as you want to own them. All right. Any other questions we have here? Let's see how our time is. Good. We're doing really well. I take prophylactically because of the climate, but one dose only when exposed. Stressed crowds. So far, we have stayed ahead. Also, sometimes it started to show up as active. We already had a dose or two in, but never taken often just for prophylactic use. We don't do that. Okay, that sounds prudent. Cow's form of avian flu, HP1A. Anyone know the exact name of it? Heard they will go after, oh yes, of course, after milk that's not pasteurized. Yes, my friends. There's no doubt. They've been going after that for a long time. Certainly they went after that in Ontario. I don't even want to tell you the story about what happened in Ontario with that. Love your classes. Thank you, Heather. Thanks for saying. It's aconitum 200, not 30. I would not use aconitum 30. It's not that it will do you harm. It's just the effective potency that is specific in the protocol. The Banerjee protocol is aconitum 200. Okay. What else do we have? Questions? What if the mucus and cough won't go away after a month? Let me say something about mucus and coughs. The real question is, does the person have their life back? Other than the mucus and the cough, do they have their life back? Are they able to pretty much sleep? They're getting a decent night's sleep, maybe not perfect, but a decent night's sleep. Are they up and working or back to school? Because mucus and a cough is still a cleansing, even after a month. We don't ever want to suppress a cough, and I don't think that's what you're saying here. But I do want you to remember that it takes a long time to clear all of that out. The mucosa is still pushing out whatever needed to be pushed out. So because there's a cough, that as long as the cough is not painful, it's not frightening, it's not keeping the person from being able to live their life, and we're just getting mucus and a cough, it's actually a very good thing. We want that to be cleansing for quite some time. Indeed. Yep. For long cough, try sulfur 6 daily, twice daily. Yes, I have used that. We can also, for very long-term cold, I'm talking about at least 3 weeks, 4 weeks after the onset of it, then we can consider sulfur. I like sulfur 30 twice a day for a few days, and that often will clear it up. Yeah, it just needs to go away pretty much on its own. This was so much fun and informative. I thank you very much, my friends. It's so good to see you. Remember, please comment and like and share and subscribe and pass this on to your friends. This is what's going to save homeopathy, not just humanity. It's going to save homeopathy. Because the other kind of homeopathy that chooses one medicine for all conditions is simply, how shall I say, ineffective. This is the homeopathy that we've all been looking for. This is the medicine we've all been looking for. And I want this to get this out to as many people as possible. So yes, this is homeopathy, but this is a special kind. It's practical, and it's based much on the Banerjee protocols as well as French protocols and other protocols that I have gathered through the years. And so with that, my friends, it's great to see you all. God bless you all, and say goodbye to influenza. Bye now. With our homeopathic protocols, you learn your remedies. My family needs me, so I must know our remedies. How much to take, how often to treat, and when to stop, and when to repeat. With our homeopathic protocols, you learn your remedies. Athusa, no dairy, it's elementary. With arnica head, arsenic, fed, spigelia, slither, orms from wither, no more firm. My family needs me, so I improve my memory. Not only the rems, but how often to treat, and when to stop, and when to repeat. With your homeopathic protocols, learn your remedies. Bella so red and arnica head, drosera bark, ignatia dark, source of frigid and cuprum to rigid, and crude itches, calica barnicum, let it melt on your gumbo, beast to weed are some great ways to treat ya. La 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 la, homeopathic protocols, learn your remedies.